sound. Everybody look what's going now.
They say that those who don't learn from the mistakes of history are destined to repeat them. In this video I'm going to show you the alarming parallels between what happened prior to the genocide of the Jewish section of the population and what is happening now in this depression. And by the way, I'm not Jewish, so I have no axe to grind. I'm saying this only because the parallels are very obvious to me. And I'm talking obviously about the parallels between what happened to the Jews in the late 1930s, early 1940s, and what is happening now to the baby boom generation. So here goes. In Germany in the 1930s, there was a financial depression caused by financial turmoil. In today's depression, we have a financial depression caused by banking greed. In the 1930s in Germany, they had World War II. Here we have war in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and probably more wars to follow. In Germany, there was debt due to war reparations. In today's depression, we have debt due to the bailout of gambling banksters. In Germany, there was lots and lots of money printing. Nobody talks about that, but that is what happened. In today's depression, there's been lots and lots of money printing, known as quantitative easing. In Germany, there was inflation and then hyperinflation. Well, we've got inflation now, and much more to come. They're trying to hide it, but you can see the petrol prices going up, and that's going to be the start of it. In Germany, there was the perception that the Jews had money which could be raided by the Nazi government. In today's depression, there is the perception that the baby boomers have pensions and homes which can be raided by the nasty government. In Germany, there was a gradual and deliberate denigration of the Jews via the controlled media. In today's depression, there's been a gradual, deliberate denigration of the baby boomers via the controlled media, and I'm going to show you that afterwards. In Germany, they tried to turn other sections of the population against the Jews. And in today's depression, they are turning other sections of the population against the baby boomers, in particular the young. They're trying to make the young feel that they're in the difficulties they're in because of the baby boom generation, not because of the banksters. In Germany, money was stolen from the Jews. In this depression, money has been stolen from the pension funds. The state in Germany pushed mass killing as morally acceptable, and again we have now the state pushing suicide as a solution for old age, and you can see my video on my channel called A State Pushing Suicide Solution, and I'll talk about this a little bit more later in the video. Then finally, you had the genocide of the Jews. So the big question is, will we now have boomicide? And that's something for you to decide. And just in case you didn't believe me when I said that baby boomers are being targeted, I'm going to show you just some examples of what's happening in the press at the moment.
Absolutely not, because it's not the fault of the pensioners. This race to the bottom.
Well, I'm afraid it is. It's the fault of that generation. It is entirely the fault of a generation which took everything out of the welfare state and which benefited entirely from it, and which pulled the rungs up from after them by doing all sorts of things, including abolishing grammar schools, including forcing property prices up and expecting to get a colossal benefit every time they sold a house. They have sold out the younger generation, people younger than me, who are in real trouble now.
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely our fault. I realise now, thank you for putting me right. It's nothing whatsoever to do with the politicians. It's nothing whatsoever to do with the banks.
It's everything to do with the politicians of that generation.
Anybody else except the pensioners. We are living high in the hog and robbing you blind, and we should be ashamed of ourselves. In fact, I think tomorrow we should start a fund into which we pay our pensions to support all you younger people.
John Barney. Of course, what that odious little man said isn't worth talking about, but when he says, for example, that some of the baby boomers were politicians, then you can also say that some of the politicians were also gay, but you wouldn't denigrate the entire gay community because of that. You wouldn't dare do that, but he can do that in relation to baby boomers without the police turning up at his door, as they should do.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long? And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we belong?
Now, if you're over 50, you are the target. If you're not over 50, there's no room for complacency either. The politicians are cocaine-fueled and completely in hock to the global elite. Just look at the Georgia Guidestones. Look it up if you've never heard of it. The Guidestones were built by an anonymous billionaire. It's a huge edifice in granite, inscribed painstakingly by hand, carved by hand, in many, many languages. It states that the population of the world should not exceed 500 million. This is not a joke. Nobody spent this amount of money to have a laugh. There are 7 billion people on Earth at the moment. And remember, 500 million to remain. Even if you're not a baby boomer, what do you think your chances are?
Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. There's battle lines being drawn. Stop, children, what's that sound?